they were able to pow out and say, fresh start, boys, fresh start. We can take this to 3.
Fresh start, one more time. Let's make this happen, because I think it just boiled down to adaptation, right? The executions as a team, the fight IQ was there. They had all the correct ideas. They just weren't finding the big profits, the big cash out at the end.
And that's got to change, because now Bigatron Esports are aware that Onyx PH know their timings right. I think that's still one of the main things that I saw in that 10th minute of the game. And I'm wondering whether or not this time around Bigatron would pick up something a little bit more versatile. I think for Light, maybe the Cho this time, other than the Tigreal early in the first phase.
Yeah, and even consider maybe the backup plan. It can't just be Eman. You can't just put everything on this young man's back. I mean, he's good, but...
Kasian.
Yeah.
It's like poor man.
Sayang.
I mean, we'll see how this goes, because I personally feel that Annabelle, he needs an assassin, but he needs an easier to execute assassin. Joy has a very high mechanical execution rate at this point. Put him on the Hayabusa.
How about the assassin that does everything, man? The assassin that's also a fighter. The assassin that also has some level of damage reduction. Put him on the Suyo. Great start already. Onyx PH, quick clap back. They knew exactly what they wanted. Come the trade. Granger and Jushin.
Oh.
Bigatron Esports, what's left. All right. They pick up Irithel. Eman knows Irithel. And, of course, one of the best roamers in the game right now.
Yeah. I think the Jawhead would fit a little bit better. I think it's a lot more... It has a lot more to say, especially in the early stage of the game. And they're also taking it away from, Onyx PH. Granger, Jawhead, Jushin. It's a disgusting combination.
It's a pretty disgusting combination, but nobody has touched Kalia. And I wonder if Onyx PH is going to flex it all over again to maybe find those big shutdowns. If not, force certain people to actually hold on to their Purifies.
Yeah, that's a lot of ragdoll physics going down if this does end up being a Kalia in red 3 for Onyx. Instead, nope. It is a Hilda, which is what, 9 out of 10 times going to be in the hands of Kirk. So I'd reckon there's still room for that Kalia.
We'll see, because the second half of the draft is about to begin here, and I mean, obviously there are certain changes that are interesting, right? The fact that Jushin was picked up very early on for Onyx PH, and now they're going to be looking towards Moreno's side. Hey, if you do decide to play that Selena all over again, I'm not letting you run away as easily. You better have a flicker, and I can guarantee a battle spell every interaction.
Yeah, and that's why we do see some limitations towards it. I don't think Bigatron will want to commit again over with the Selena, so we do see Onyx PH starting to really respect this kid, right? Yves being banned out. I have an inkling feeling that there's going to be another mage ban, but considering Moreno has a lot of heroes under his belt. We've seen him on the Veil, we've seen him on the Valentina. What else? Just everything. He's played everything.
Farsa's still open.
Farsa, exactly.
But of all of those, by taking out the Aurora, by taking out the Eve, you're kind of spelling it out. Like, I don't care if you have a good artillery mage. We're still coming for you. We're still coming at you.
Yeah, we don't want the kill box. We don't want anything to kind of slow our initial engage, and especially for those who want to find those big punishments and play for information, which Onyx PH is very good at abusing. Bigatron Esports, different mindset though. Hanzo ban, they don't want their heroes to get run down. It makes a little bit more sense because again, you are playing against Mr. Bluyo and of course the Irithel, and I think that even for Bigatron Esports, they understand we want to have options for our battle spells for now. They even ban out the Hayabusa alongside it. Kalia, lock in for Onyx PH.
There it is. I would really prefer the Kalia roam and then the Hilda XP. But again, I was wrong. Game 1, I called it, wrong as well, where you put the heroes of Kirk and Brusco. For BTR, though, you're still looking for that mage and that XP laner. Is Phoveus out? Hold up. Phoveus still around.
Yes, Phoveus is still around here. Let's see what the lock-ins are going to be. 24 seconds left on the clock for the Red Robots. I think, are there enough dashes? 1, 2 so far for the side of Onyx PH, even if they wanted to get multiple triggers. Could be a little tough. I would have expected something else here, unless they want to find a matchup into like maybe Lucas. Oh, Farsa, all right. Glue, the safe option.
Okay, but this does mean that Onyx PH still have the ability to pick up the Lucas, right? I mean, Valentina was not picked up earlier on. There's no counter to this Lucas.
There is no counters except for the fact that it's in the jungle. I mean, given, we have had some winning Lucas in the jungle
Quite a
over the
lot,
past few
actually.
weeks. No, in the jungle specifically.
Yeah.
In the other streams.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, so we need to check on them too. But yeah, what I don't like about Onyx Beach's lineup.
RRQ 2 times in a row. Lucas in
There
the
you
jungle
go.
one.
Kyle Teasy won with it too. This is just me. I don't care about the stats. I just don't like it.
You don't like it? Well, the only benefit is the fact that there's so much disruption on Bigatron Esports, which can be dealt with a push of a button. A well-timed Sacred Beast could get a free retribution from King Kong, one of the best junglers in the world as of now. On PH on red side, Bigatron Esports now with complete lineups here. Team fight to pick off, and even then, neutral objectives is going to be the name of the game as we start heading on into game number 2. It's going to be Eterna as well as Leo taking you guys on board for the ride.
Let's go on the ride, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Gideon. Gideon. As we get into the second game, let's jump into the land of Dawn. Match point now for Onyx PH against Bigatron Esports. Let's see whether or not with this change in composition, with this change in roster, they're going to be able to make things happen, steer things up, and force a game numero 3.
All right, let me just soften my heart here a bit. The reason why I think I've taken the past 15 seconds to say, this is not such a bad pick on King Kong, Lucas, is because they're a team fighting lineup. That's all it is. Like, they just really want to get in your face, force you to commit spells, commit abilities, and if you're not ready for it, they'll run you over. That's one way you could win with a Lucas.
And that's why the Yves ban was so intelligent. Wait a second. Okay, force sticker in by Moreno.
Even in two-man pockets, in two-man squads, like, they can do that.
And back to the Yves point, it also gives the Jushin a little bit more firepower in the mid lane, right? Without the presence of the Yves, the range that Super Prince has should not be as punished. So they're looking at mid trio prior right now, and it looks like they are currently holding it despite going ahead against Light on the Jawhead and Marin on the far side.
And about, 2 minutes in almost, Turtle spawning upper quarter. We haven't really seen much of ejector threats. Is because Bigatron knows that if Onyx so decides to fight, they can, get in the paint. They can oblige, no matter how early in the game it is now. So 2 minutes approaching. 4 members of Onyx in the vicinity, best believe. Kirk can just run up there. He's about to hit level 4. This is Onyx MO.
It looks like it too, but I don't think Bigatron want to go down without a fight.
Oh, Tsunami Slam on the Luke. Didn't even get to use the split. Now King Kong going hunting. He's a little wolf man, and they will secure.
Uncontested Turtle here in the first few minutes of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Onyx PH are still holding on to control. But the underlying concern that will build for them in the later stage of the game has still been left untouched, right? Eman in the Golden on the Irithal. We've seen him turn around games as well. Single-handedly as well. So that is something that should be prioritized by Onyx PH at some point in the game. It looks like they're not going to be rotating towards the gold lane just yet. But there is some emphasis from the side of Bigatron Esports to protect that from happening.
Yeah, you're right. No, this is a very deliberate decision by Onyx PH. They're saying, hey, it's not worth it to bother Eman. He's not even at 2 or 3 items just yet, but that might bite them in the behind if they're not careful.
Granted as well that Kelra is still ahead in terms of gold. I think not too much. I think 500 gold-ish in that difference, so Onyx PH should be able to get to that power spike a lot quicker. Meanwhile, 2v1 situation.
What's going on? Oh no! Kirk entertained these two a little too long. What are we expecting?
I don't know. I think he wanted to clear in the waves. 2v1, unexpected.
Wanted to get the XP.
Bigatron Esports, a little bit of a trade back here, but it's still Onyx PH with the lead. Brusco goes in, but it's just onto Light.
That was a blind read. I mean, he does have a flicker, so I guess he's fine. Look at that, how much Kelra chunked off of that turret shield.
And that's a problem.
Big money.
1,000 gold ahead, I think. Just by that alone, Kelra now leading. It is 1,000, yeah.
About 1,000, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My God. For a quiet game like this, that's amazing.
And that's the beauty of PH games, right? You don't necessarily see a lot of, conflict on the board, but something is always happening that's very subtle, but it ends up leading up to something bigger. And the fact that Keller will be able to get that power spike faster is something that Bigatron Esports will have to endure as it game progresses, because he already has a Hunter Strike on his way, I believe, to the Sky Piercer.
You can say that again. Very cerebral approach the Super Fam has taken this compared to their action in game 1. Weird enough, this is an action-centric lineup. Like, they really want to fight, but the way they're approaching it, very surgical in their approach. Turtle Dance here, now the flicker forward, coming in from Luke, looking for a grab. There's a split. Oh, the Crimson Beacon, Super Prince, the Monster Mage, entertains him. Annabelle falls, and now it's all falling apart. Light backing out, Feathered Airstrike coming through from Moreno, off camera. Light wants to run away, but Super Prince says, get over here, and now the Turtle is up next. Oh my lord, Onyx PH divide and conquer. The beast gets to eat good.
And they didn't even have to do anything fancy with it either, right? It was Bigatron Esports that went in for an opportunity. I think Luke jumped in a little bit too early, honestly, onto King Kong. And Onyx PH just answered what Bigatron Esports was asking, right? Here's the initiation. What are you going to do about it? Onyx PH, 2 members down, and then they also get the neutral objective take as well. So 3,000 gold lead already in 5 minutes.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
With how little violence there is, like casualties. Oh, wait, what's up? Oh! Airstrike, point blank. Kirk goes away. In comes the rest of Onyx PH. Moreno off camera. Tsunami slam on Evan. Oh my god, the 2 cores. They were there and they're now so behind 4K.
Unfortunate for the red robots, and Kirk still gets out alive to boot. Bought enough time. What's happening in the mid lane? Kale's getting caught really low. Should be able to get out.
Ooh,
Okay.
All right. That's
Gets
fine.
out.
Yeah. Light, again, does not want to overcommit to that fight. They are in full-on defense mode, damage control. This is what the Super Fam can get away with their newfound love for macro gameplay. Last year, in 2024, their run, it was all about mechanics. It was all about team fighting. Now, they're minimizing the damage. The grab on the Kirk. He falls. Free kill for Annabelle.
But honestly, that's okay, right? Because with so much control over onto Onyx PH, tower on the top side goes. Tower on the bottom side goes. It looks like they're looking for another one. Should be able to zone out Iman away here. And that's just been the nature of Onyx PH at this point. Bigatron Esports, I wonder if they're used to this, right? MPLID, always about brawl-heavy style games, very high action-packed. And when their macro gets put to the test, can they adapt on time?
You know what? It did take a while for the rest of the world to follow through learning how to Lord Dance. But hey, we learned at M4 in 2023. The rest of the following years, the rest of the world has to pick up on that. And now look at this. Inside the turtle pit, Luke, very low, gets a split. That's right, the answer by Moreno, the ejector on a Super Prince. Finally, Bigatron Esports finds the Monster Mage, tames him, but only for so long. Luke, once more, forced to flicker away, gets another split. In comes Brusco, gets that Tsunami Slam, feeding off a kill to Kelra. Annabelle falls, Luke up next, the Beast, helping Kelra get a double.
How does that happen? Bigatron Esports started that so well, already a man advantage in the neutral objective fight. Granted, they were looking for something more. Triple kill as well, secured in. What?
What?
What did that?
Where?
Huh?
How? They're not done! Emma falls! The Super Fam goes above and beyond to wow us.
4 members for the price of 1. Plus, they also get the perfect turtle. That's 501 stats onto Kelra with the Sky Piercer to boot. Things are crumbling for the red robots right now.
Crumbling is an understatement. They are getting dismantled, turned into scraps. That's what the Decepticons would do to the Autobots if they had their way. No mercy from Onyx PH. No quarter. You come in within range, you go down. They're taking even the purple.
Especially he was already that low, right? That's Sky Piercer plus the Malefic Roar for you, ladies and gentlemen. And Luke, unfortunately, had to learn that the hard way. 032 on his signature glue.
he's trying his best. Again, we talked about this pre-match. We set it up that, you know, Luke is reliable. Eman can turn things around late game. Moreno has sound mechanics, you know, can come in clutch, but the underlying symptoms, they're still there. There's a lot of lessons that they're still in the process of learning from game one.
That's a 3,000 gold lead for the gold laner.
Alone.
Just the gold laner.
Kelra making Eman really feel like a mortal in the presence of the god in the gold lane.
And, you know, looking at the items again, Super Prince feeling himself with the Sky Piercer too.
There you go. This is what people do in ranked. This is what we were expecting from the couple of Zushins we saw yesterday. Here, this time around, Fritz is looking at Riz like, hey, look, my coach let me do this.
A lot more composed in the emblems, but he's at that point where they know they're just looking for a snowball.
Tsunami Slam. On the one, it's Luke. Gets that split, and that flicker away, looking for the grab still, but Kelra ain't letting that stand. Crimson Beacon by Super Fist looking for them stacks. Moreno goes down, another kill for Kelra, and the beast unleashed. Enough damage to serve it up to Kelra. Down he goes. Once more, the Maniac cannot get the Savage. Light walks away.
Oh, 4 members again. Another Maniac in the hands of Kelra. He's sitting at 10-0-1 on the Harith and now on the Granger. What can't he do at this point? These inhibitor turrets should be falling. A 10,000 gold lead for Onyx PH.
He can't stop, won't stop, Eterna. He's just gonna keep going.
And going they will, going they shall. A Lord already being bursted down, blitzed down. Man, Onyx PH in game number 1, we saw some things that could have been cleaner.
They seemed human.
They seemed human finally, but in game number 2, they're like, all right, no.
The gloves come off.
The hair ties.
Oh yeah, they go up. Gloves come off, hair ties go up, and your bases start to crumble. Your turrets fall, your holy shields pop, and Lord comes a marching down bottom. Looks great in an Onyx PH jersey.
Can they defend this? Technically, Moreno has the high ground. Technically, Amon should be able to clear despite the lack of range. Only on 2 items right now. By the way, Amon only Windtalker and the Berserker Fury. Let's hope it's enough.
Feather Strike, maximum range, smack dab right in the middle of that base, hitting up mid, hitting down bottom, but this is the inevitable. Lord crashing through, finally piercing down that inhibitor, and that's permanent damage. Up next in mid.
It's gonna go down for sure, right?
And the flicker Tsunami Slam forcing a fight against Moreno. He goes down, Luke follows up just as quickly, and now it's just 3 to defend in the base. Bigatron Esports knows the end is nigh. The sweep is upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Fam is so back. King Kong finds one. There's the wipeout. Waiting for a minion wave. Onyx PH, 13,000 gold ahead. Waves crashing through. Top, bottom, and mid. They take the game 2-0.
2-0 clean from Onyx. Clean execution, clean draft.